First question that Miriam asked is, what books have had the greatest impact on you? Great question. I would have to say Sacred Hoops by Phil Jackson. It's the book about Phil Jackson. He was the coach of the Chicago Bulls, coached them to 6 NBA titles. Then he went on to coach the Los Angeles Lakers, won another 5 titles. And it's really about his background and the philosophy he instilled on these teams in which they were so successful. And back in 2018, I read that book for the second time. I've read it 5 times now. And I was like, well, if Michael and Kobe could do this, like, I'm going to do it. So I applied a lot of the philosophy of Phil Jackson and, of course, my own philosophies I've developed in reading and living. And it works. So I would say Sacred Hoops, Phil Jackson for sure. Another one is But What If We're Wrong by Chuck Klosterman. It's kind of like a philosophical book, but it's so much fun. He's probably my favorite writer, Chuck Klosterman. And this is about like thinking about the present as if it were the past, right? What I notice a lot in culture and society is there's kind of this arrogance of like we're like the smartest, the most advanced civilization that has ever come here before. We can't know anything more, but no, we can. And it's the humility we need to have and imagine how our contemporary living and world is going to be perceived in the future. I always like had that thought, and then he kind of wrote it, and it's cool. Like some of the examples he uses is like how will people remember rock music 500 years from now? And it's a great exploration into just kind of like getting yourself out of the present and kind of taking like a eagle-eye view of life, society, civilization, and the world. But it's super fun. It's super fun. I definitely recommend it. So those 2 books, I would say, have made a big impact